What is up, duelists, and welcome back to another Yu-Gi-Oh video. I have a very fun one for you today. I finally brought Paleozoic to another tournament, one of my favorite decks of all time. It's hard to make that work in advanced constructed format because the gap between the power level of a Paleozoic deck and other decks in the format when you're going second is quite high. So I took my GoPro to Genesis Locals, and I'm going to show you the deck list that I used in a moment, and then I'll also go over some gameplay, which is a concept that I want to do more often in the future, also for advanced constructed. So if there's any deck in particular you'd like to see me play and build both in one video, then let me know in the comments down below. I hope you enjoy the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and let's get started. I brought Paleo to Locals, and I ended up winning, and look what I got. Look what I got. It's been so long since I've pulled an ulti in anything. Ooh. I wish it didn't have the new text. One of the biggest downsides of text changes is when you pick a retro card up and now it has the new text. Kind of sad for me, but yeah. Before we go in though, I have a quick shout out to a new sponsor of the channel that I'm very happy to announce. I already teased it in the last couple of weeks. These are the oversleeves that I've been using recently, and the reason why I'm only doing this now is because I wanted to test them for a couple of weeks before actually presenting you them, make sure that they are good enough. The company is called Ice. They are based in Germany and they produce very high quality oversleeves for Yu-Gi-Oh cards. So if you're like me and you like using fancy OCG sleeves for your stuff, then you want to protect those because of course those are usually more expensive. So you use oversleeves to never damage them, also protects your cards better. And I've been using these for weeks now. I already started before the European Championship. So weeks ago, I started using them for my testing just to make sure that these are good enough so I would accept them as a sponsor, because I don't want to advertise anything I wouldn't use myself or recommend for people to use. So I've been using these for a long time now. They are very, very smooth. I like them a lot. Better than other oversleeves I've used in the past. So very, very happy with them. Happy to recommend them to you guys, and happy to have them as a sponsor for the channel now. You can use Josh5 on your orders for the Ice oversleeves. There's a command, !ice. And every time you order, there's a small commission that I get. You're not paying anything extra. I get a commission if you use my code. Feel free to try them out. I hope you like them. Currently, this is something that might change in the near future. I will talk to them about it, but they only ship within Europe at the moment. They do not ship to the US or any other places because they are a relatively small company at the moment. They started doing this somewhat recently. So I'll keep you updated on this if they ever change that. But at the moment, it is Europe only. Let's go into the Paleo list. Let me move these out of the way for a second. So this is what I played at Genesis Locals. It's not 60 cards. It's also not 40 cards. It's 45. And I'll talk about that in a second of what kind of cards you could cut. I was just kind of experimenting with some things. For example, I was experimenting with 3 copies of Lord of the Heavenly Prison. My reasoning for this is that this is just a very solid engine card in this deck because you can just set a trap from your deck to use on the next turn. But mainly, I was worried of Blitzclick destroying my back row with stuff like Whisker and Grain. I wanted the protection from Lord of the Heavenly Prison. But it also just so happens that some people play cards like Twin Twister, so I wanted to play that for that as well. And if your opponent doesn't play any destruction, then well, use a trap, bring it out from your hand, and you get to set a card from the deck. We played 1 Magic Colloidal Soul. I love this card, of course. It's a very, very fun card to have. However, I want to have 1 in rotation and then never another one. So I didn't want to take the risk to draw 2 or anything like that. And I played 1 copy of Iperia. Iperia is a weird card in this deck because in the one hand, it's one of my favorite cards because it's just a free level 2. If you just don't have a normal summon, this card is literally just free. You just get a free level 2 that you summon and draw a card with, which makes me want to play multiple even because it's just so much easier to get into your XYZ monsters with the help of something like this. However, I really don't want to draw multiple monsters, so I tried to minimize the monster count. But Iperia is a card that I would consider playing multiple of. Whenever I drew it, I was pretty happy with it. And then this card. And this card, you don't understand how awesome it is to play this card in a format where it doesn't get ashed all the time. Oh my god. Oh my god, is this card nice if you don't get ashed on it. It's so good. Getting rollbacks out of your hand, getting Paleos into the graveyard, rise to full height, whatever it is. Such a wonderful feeling to have this card resolve. Yeah, very, very nice. And okay, this is all the monsters and spells. Now into the trap cards, which is the rest of the deck. Just gets hit by one of the bazillion endboard negates. Yeah, there are no endboard negates in Genesis format, but nice try. Okay, Morella, Leoncolia, the two most important ones, gets you roll back into the graveyard, gets rolled back into the graveyard. So as that. 3 Olenoids, easy to use. Dynamicious is a weird one because this card is kind of, having to discard is kind of bad, but we do need the maximum amount of good Paleos, which is also why we also play the 3 copies of Canadia. This card does get significantly better post-side because of Mirage of Nightmare, which I will talk about more later, but I sided Mirage of Nightmare for going first, which is very smooth when you go first and you activate this and you set a Dynamicious and then you draw 4 and then you probably have a good discard for your Dynamicious, which is really nice. And then here's the best cards in the deck. Double Transaction Rollback, triple Transaction Rollback, triple Trap Trick, and triple Trapaholic. My god, these cards make me feel so alive, especially Trapaholic. Trapaholic is a relatively new addition to the deck. I mean, it came out a while ago, but I haven't really picked this deck back up after this card has been released. This card is so good in this deck. This card is so good in this deck. It solves the problem of when you draw rollback, how do you get it into the graveyard? So you just destroy. So Trapaholic is a card that not everyone is familiar with, but it says target a spell trap you control, destroy it, and if you do set a normal trap from your deck, it can be activated this turn while you have 3 or more traps in the graveyard. So essentially, it's another trap trick, but it doesn't require you to banish another copy, which is actually relevant in this deck because sometimes you run out of specific trap cards you want to get. So the fact that you just tutor out one without banishing another copy of it is good. And also, this card doesn't lock you into only one more trap for the rest of the turn, which is very, very important. So yeah, and also it solves the problem of drawing transaction rollback and not having a way of getting it into the graveyard. One thing you have to be careful of in this particular version is if Lord of the Heavenly Prison is active, you cannot destroy set cards with Trapaholic, because the Lord of the Heavenly Prison would prevent them from being destroyed. What you can do, however, and what you try to do most of the time with Trapaholic, is you're trying to destroy face-up cards anyways. Like you activate a Paleo and then you chain Trapaholic on it. That does work. So that also works under Lord of the Heavenly Prison. 3 copies of Needlebug Nest. It's a classic at this point. This card doesn't even feel that good anymore in this build because, as you notice, I'm not playing Backjack or Fiend Griefing just because I felt like not being able to link Backjack off is a downside, and also Fiend Griefing doesn't seem like the craziest card in Genesis format, so I decided against it. Needlebug Nest still helps you getting Paleos into the graveyard. On average, you're gonna mill at least 1 Paleo with it, but also if you get really lucky and you hit a card like Transaction Rollback or Magic Colloidal Soul, you get a lot of value from this card. Mainly it's just because we need Paleos in the graveyard to start playing. Also, points. So far, all we have is 7 points per rollback, so that's 21. 7 points per Trapaholic, so that's 42. And 3 points per Trap Trick, which is 51 points. 51 points. Then we have 3 copies of Destructive Daruma Karmic Cannon, which is 1 point each, which puts us to 54. People seem to think that this card is bad in Genesis format because it doesn't get rid of any Link monsters, which is true. It is weaker in Genesis. However, it does really help in terms of just protecting your stuff. Like, it's just a really good card to slow your opponent down. If you ever get to hold it until the battle phase, like, your opponent just can't do anything to you. It's basically just a better Waboku most of the time. It's usually a better Waboku because your opponent is not going to deal damage to you when you have it. So that is that. 3 Rise to Full Height, another good mill for Needlebug Nest, another good send for Morella in a pinch. Prevents your opponent from attacking to save your Paleos and save your life points, because of course with rollback you can get very, very low on life points a lot of the time. And then 2 copies of Waboku, because I didn't feel comfortable playing without it completely. I like the discard actually. I feel like maybe I want to go back to 3 copies, just because with this deck you're not actually trying to really interrupt your opponent per se. You're just trying to not die and bring back your Paleos in peace. And Waboku is really good for that. It's just, you know, whatever your opponent does, just Waboku and you're going to live the turn. And then, of course, the star of the show, as always, I will never go back, Elemental Burst. My favorite combo with transaction rollback. Just blow up the entire board. This is the best way that this deck has to out the board. This is why it's okay to just survive. Just book all their monsters with Karmic Cannon, prevent them from attacking with Rise to Full Height and Baboku. As long as you can set up the Elemental Burst with the rollback, you're fine. You just blow them up, and then you're good to go. And then the last card is 1 copy of Balance of Judgment. Draws cards equal to the difference of cards that your opponent has and cards that you have on the field and in hand combined. The reason why this is only 1, and this is also a change, because of Trapaholic, you don't need to play 2 copies of every single trap anymore to access it. And that's why I was able to only include it as a 1-of, because Trapaholic can still fetch it. Trap Trick cannot, but Trapaholic can. So yeah, that is the main deck. It is 45. The thing is, there's 2 directions you could take this deck. You could make it a 60 card deck, but I really didn't see a reason to, because you can't really play grass in Genesis format. It's too many points. And so I really want to see the good cards, right? I want to see my Morella. I want to see Tantalizing Tune. I want to see Trapaholic, Needlebug Nest. I want to see Paleos to get them into rotation and stuff like that. So I didn't feel the need to go higher than 45. The coolest thing about this deck is that there are so many viable things you can do with this deck. You can play it as a Morganite version, which I didn't do because of the Lord of the Heavenly Prison. You can play Draco Tail traps because they are good normal traps that draw you some cards in the long run. There's a lot of other great cards you can play, but I didn't want to make the deck 60 because I really wanted to draw the high quality cards also post side. So the main deck is only 54 points, which is great. And the deck I played, I didn't even go all the way to 100, but there's also a couple of points in the extra deck that I feel like are not necessary, but we'll talk about that right now. So the extra deck, you need Opabinias, but you don't really need 3. I think 2 is fine. Like 2 Opabinia, 2 Animal Okars is probably good enough. The cards you really need are Zeus for 20. This is mandatory. This is absolutely mandatory because you don't always have rollback into Elemental Burst available. If you stall out a turn with Baboku or Daruma Karmic Cannon or something, Zeus is your main way of clearing boards. Zeus is your main way of clearing boards, and in order to make it a bigger Zeus, there's also a Downed Magician. Honestly, first of all, I feel like Zeus should be cheaper because, I don't know, the card is just fair, I think. But also, I considered doing 2. I considered doing 2 in this deck because right now we are at 74. We are at 74 points right now, and you don't really need anything else. So, yeah. No Plump. Oh, we could play Pearly Plump to get more materials. That'd be cool. I didn't think of that. Yeah, that's awesome. That's a cool idea. Anyways, a couple of utility rank 2s that barely ever happen. Sky Cavalry, Centaurea, Onibimaru, Soul Sweeper, Numble 45, Crumble Logos. And then I played a Gigantic Sprite, which is a couple of points. I forgot. It was 5 or 7. I don't know. I think 7, maybe 5. I don't know. The reason I played Gigantic, I never made it, but I think it does make sense if you have the points. It lets you tutor out Magic Colloidal Soul if you want it in rotation, or it lets you summon out Hyperia to draw a card. And the reason why I like this is because there is actually no other rank 2 that is Interruption with just 2 materials. So for example, if you make an Opabinia at the start of your turn, and then you only bring back 2 Paleos, you cannot really turn those 2 Paleos into Interruption in any form. You can make Zeus maybe, but if you want to get a new trap card in rotation, you can go Gigantic, summon Hyperia, and then most likely you're going to draw a trap card. So you can refill your back row with it. F-Zero Utopic Future and F-Zero Utopic Future Zexal. This also has 5 points. Both of these are not necessary. We could save these 10 points easily somewhere. We don't really need them. They're here for an option. You can make these very easily. They just don't really happen that much. You can make Toad. Honestly, I just assumed that Toad was too many points. It's only 20? Oh, wait, I could have played Toad. I assumed it was more than that. But I will say, I was running a little late for locals, not because I started building the deck late, but because I was just, after we moved, I haven't really sorted my cards properly yet, so it was a nightmare to find all of these cards. So the extra deck, probably I would have changed some stuff. I couldn't find my Shadow Mosquito. I just couldn't find it. I don't know where it is. I don't know where it's gone. It's got to be here somewhere, but I'll find it at some point. And I wasn't late. Anyways, Dragon Gate. I summoned this card. I summoned this card once, and it went for game. And then I put this. I don't know, man. It's just, if I ever have double Lord of the Heavenly Prison, then they can attack for 6,000. And then I can make this for the remaining 2,000. It never happened, man. Like, this card. If you need the points, then this card. The Sky Cavalry, the Crumble logos, this F-Zero. You don't really need the third Opabenia. The extra deck. Put what you want. Really put what you want. I think Plump is a good idea. And the Shadow Mosquito should probably be here as well. And maybe Toad. Maybe Toad. I mean, there's a couple of options for points. But like maybe you can just put the points for Toad or second Zeus. I don't even know. I unironically don't know if it's better to play Toad or second Zeus. Because Zeus happens so often. So often. But yes, main deck, 54 points. Zeus makes it 74. The Gigantic, I believe, is 7, so that's 81. And the Utopic Future Zexal is +5, so it's currently at 86 points. There are no points in the side deck, if I'm not mistaken. So 86 points total. And there's a lot of room to work with. There's a lot of room to work with as well. And then for the side deck, this is, honestly, this card you can main deck. I think I should have main decked this card. Mirage of Nightmare is free, 0 points. And this card has such insane synergy with this deck, man. It is so good. So you activate Mirage of Nightmare, you set your entire hand, you pass the turn, you draw 4 cards. And of course, if it gets to your next standby phase, you will have to discard those cards. However, there are plenty of ways to destroy your own Mirage of Nightmare to circumvent this drawback. Something like Trapaholic, pop it. Allenoids to pop it, stuff like that. It's really easy to set it up in a way where you don't have to discard your cards. But the main reason why I like this card is because it gives you discards for the Dinomishus, right? Like, you look at your next 4 cards, there's a very high chance you'll draw a Rollback or an Elemental Burst or a Rise to Full Height or just another Paleo. And then you just discard that card for Dinomishus on your opponent's turn immediately. And then even if you have to discard next turn for the Mirage of Nightmare, the chances are that you're going to discard valuable cards in the graveyard. Because, I mean, we play Needlebug Nest. We play Needlebug Nest because sending 5 cards from the deck to the grave is good. So even if you have to discard for Mirage of Nightmare, it's not that bad. It's not the end of the world. 3 Forbidden Apocrypha. I went through my cards, and in order to find some of these cards, I went through my ICS winning deck from 2017 because I still have that build. And I saw this card and I was like, wait, this could be a cool side deck card for this format. This card says you declare an extra deck monster type between Fusion, Synchro, and XYZ, because this card was printed before this card was printed before Link monsters came out, but they are not legal in Genesis format. And if there are 2 or more of that type are on the field, you send all of them to the graveyard. So if your opponent has 2 Synchros or more, you say Synchro, and then all the Synchros go to the grave. If they have multiple XYZs, you say XYZ, all the XYZs go to the grave. And it's a trap card that you can chain a Paleo to. You can tutor it with Trap Trick. I figured there was maybe a couple of decks in the format where you could use it. Anything that's just based on one summoning mechanic, like Tellar with XYZs, you can just set this card and get rid of the XYZs. I think it's an interesting card that unfortunately didn't get to use during the locals, but I think, like, I played against Ice Barrier, which summons a bunch of Synchros. And I think if you have this for that matchup, I think it's a neat card. Could also be something like Needle Sealing though, which is maybe a little bit more generic. 3 Debunks, because I'm afraid of Blitzclick. That's the only reason for Debunk. 3 Heavy Storm Duster. This is one of my favorite cards to play in Paleo. Such a high value trap card in a slow and grindy game. Destroys 2 spell and traps on the field. Another card that can destroy Mirage of Nightmare, which was a part of the reason why I played it as well. If you draw these 2 cards together, you can just draw 4 with Mirage of Nightmare, and then you go Heavy Storm Duster on it and one opponent's card. So you still get value by targeting your opponent's card, but then you also destroy your own Mirage of Nightmare, which is neat. The only downside is you can't conduct your battle phase that turn, but usually you're using it on your opponent's turn. So, and then for the last card, I wanted to try something a little spicy, and that was Annihilate Retrolight. But I only had 2 copies, so I played 1 Sphere Mode, because this was supposed to be 3. First, I wanted to do 3 Sphere Modes. I wanted to do 3 Sphere Modes, and on my way through my cards to find my Sphere Modes, I went past Annihilate Retrolight. And I was like, wait a second, this card is cool. This card is cool in trap decks. So what this card does, this card came out in Chaos Origins actually, it's very recent. When your opponent activates a monster effect on the field, except monsters that were summoned this turn, you negate that activation and then you banish face down all face-up monsters the opponent controls except monsters that were summoned this turn. And if it's destroyed, you get to set a trap from your deck. So it's good against removal, but mainly if your opponent makes a big board, you set 5, including this card. If they use any effect on the field that wasn't summoned this turn, you just activate it and everything goes. Which I thought was a really fun idea. I wanted to play it. I didn't have 3 copies, or if I don't know if I pulled one at some point. Maybe I have 3, but I didn't find it. So I just left one sphere mode in there. The sphere mode looks kind of random in here, but it's just because I couldn't find a 3rd copy of the Retro Light in time. I think this card is very interesting. I think it has some potential. The problem with it in other decks that aren't trap decks is that usually the way it goes, if your opponent makes a big board and you play like a normal Yu-Gi-Oh deck, you want to play into that board, and then this card is stuck in your hand and your opponent is just, you know, like if you just set it and pass and then they do something and you banish their board, then they just make a new board. But in a trap deck, it's fine. I set 5, including this card. They use an effect. I wipe their board, and then they have to play into my trap cards. It's kind of like if I'm going first, but I'm going second, which is neat. So yeah, that's the deck list. And what I was hoping, essentially, going into this locals, is I was hoping that I was going to be able to experience some really good grindy gameplay with Paleozoics. Of course, I was a little bit scared that I was going to have trouble with double losses now with the new double loss rules. And I will say, this is something that would have happened if my opponents weren't nice enough to surrender in 1 or 2 of the rounds. The games with this deck do take a long time and they are grindy. I will say, because it was just locals, I also let my opponents take their time because a lot of them were not used on how to play against Paleo, and so they took some time for their combos. And I was just like, you know what, it's just locals. I'm not gonna like hurry them up like crazy. There was 2 matches where we were getting very close to time, and then my opponents surrendered because I was hard winning. I was hard winning the game. I just needed some more time to finish it. But yes, it's a very slow deck. What do you expect? You can have some problems with them. All right. I'll say in advance, I was a little rusty with Paleo, and you will see in the first game, and we can talk about it and learn from it, because I don't think I played this game perfectly. I don't think I played this game perfectly. But here it is. We are going first. And we're doing the classic, we're doing the thing. Let's go. Set 5 pass. See, my deck isn't slow. My deck's hella fast. We start off with the Needlebug Nest. There's a little bit of glare because I think we're sitting right underneath the light. Very annoying thing here is we only hit 1 Paleozoic. That is not ideal. Ideally, you want to hit some more. And it's Ice Barrier. And so in addition to my deck being slow, I also have to read a lot of the cards because I'm not super familiar with the Ice Barriers. Like, I know this one is like discard 1 to summon 1 from deck or something like that. But I'm not the most familiar with it. But yeah, that is one of the things about Genesis format that, you know, you're gonna have to know a couple of these decks, or you're gonna face some decks that you haven't played before. And here I'm thinking about, should I book the thing on summon, or should I wait a little bit? I decide to wait a little bit. They have a perfect discard for it, which is the Mirror Mage. The Mirror Mage, I know that one because it's a level 2 Aqua. I've played it before. That one, if it's sent to the graveyard, searches you an Ice Barrier, I think spell or trap. And they summon another copy of it, so they get to search. Search everything. Oh, even monsters. Okay. Does Ice Barrier have that many extenders if you book the normal? I'm not entirely sure, actually. I know they have that level 6 guy, the Gorgias. I don't know exactly. I don't know what the condition for it is, though. I don't know if you need like an Ice Barrier on the field to summon it. But that is an extender. I know that's an extender. It needs an Ice Barrier on the field. Okay. Yeah, maybe I should have booked it on normal summon. I don't know. The issue with booking it on normal summon here, the biggest problem is that I only have 1 Paleo in the graveyard right now. That's my biggest problem, because I can't just spam trap cards and bring my Paleos back. If I activate the Karmic Cannon here, that's the only Paleo I got. So I don't really get anywhere from that. So I kind of need, I mean, I have a trap trick, but Yeah. And this, they use the Mirror Mage, you contribute the Revealer to make 3 tokens, and I thought that was a great opportunity to go Karma Cannon, because I would get rid of the tokens as well. So I bring back the Morella. That's my Morella as well, so in case they can run over it with something, I can bring it back. Canada would have been nice. Yeah, Canada instead of Karma Cannon, I would have used instantly on the normal summon. Because that would have booked the normal summon and given me another Paleo Engrave. That would have been perfect, yeah.
Das ist okay, aber wenn die auf dem Feld ist, würde ich überlegen. Also die kommt, das Token kriegst du auch, dann überlege ich.
And here, I think here, it's a very awkward spot for me. Because my set cards right now are Trap Trick. Let me see, what's the other one? I just looked at it. Trap Trick, Leoncolia, and I forgot what this is. And the problem is, like, I'm really scared of Cheng Ying right now. Because Cheng Ying... Because I have Trap Trick... Oh, it's double Leoncolia. Yeah, it's double Leoncolia Trap Trick. If I let them make Cheng Ying here... If I let them make Cheng Ying, my only interruption right now is Trap Trick, which banishes a card. So it triggers the Cheng Ying, which it's really, really weird. It's really awkward. This hand was really... It's double Leoncolia with no way to really banish a card is really awkward.
Okay. Dann würde ich gerne Trap Trick aktivieren.
So I'm starting with Trap Trick here. You can make an argument. Maybe I should have used the what's it called? The Rise to Full Height and then just put a Leoncolia engrave first. But yeah, I'm gonna banish Morella here to get another Morella. This is better than setting another Karma Cannon instantly because it puts more Paleos in the grave. Sets up rollback. And then I just go roll back, copy the Karma Cannon. Which I think this is a mistake. I think this is actually a mistake. I think I can wait here. Because now, if I go roll back Karma Cannon, the Cheng Ying is booked. So I can just let them cook a little bit, I think. You sound completely different when you talk German? Yeah, I hear that a lot. I do hear that a lot. But yeah, here, I think I should have held the Karma Cannon for longer. Guys, I couldn't believe my eyes. I could not believe my eyes when I read this card. And I don't know, I think it's General... Is it General Wayne of the Ice Barrier? General Wayne of the Ice Barrier. Dude, this card... So, when they said that Ice Barrier has a floodgate for everything... They mean everything, bro. That deck has a floodgate for everything, even for freaking Paleos. Look at this. Spell and traps sent from the field to your opponent's graveyard are banished instead. What the hell is this? What the hell is this? Why is there a Paleo floodgate? Come on, man. Ice Barrier got a floodgate for everything, man. Come on. That's not okay. So annoying. Couldn't you chain Leoncolia to the activation of Trap Trick? Trap Trick does not banish as cost, so no, I can't. There's no target yet. There's no target yet for the Trap Trick. I realized this when I read the card. When I read the Winds of the Ice Barrier, it says tribute Ice Barrier monsters for cost. They can tribute face downs. I was hoping they didn't realize, but they did. I have to read it a second time, man. I can't believe what's happening to me right now.
Vom Feld, ne? Ja. Ja. Okay. Ja. Ja.
Also der Effekt, der kann ich das so gewandt, so eine wieder. Ich hab die Trap und mit der Trap habe ich den so. Mit einer von den Chauffeurs. Genau, ja. Also der kann wahrscheinlich vollkommen.
No breakthrough skill? I'm not playing breakthrough skill, no. I think it's too low impact. But the thing is, I think their hand is really good. But at the same time, I'm not a fan of complaining about it because I do think that I should be winning this game, and we'll talk about that in a second. So I'm not gonna complain about it.
Okay, wir haben Targeting Hook, wir haben einen Negate, aber dafür musst du einen Synchro-Feed kontrollieren.
You did just run headfirst into the only possible ice barrier hand that beats 2 Daruma cannons? Maybe. Yeah. What about Lost Winds? I also didn't put Lost Winds, but that's a little better in terms of impact, I think. Could play Lost Wind. It would make the Needlebug Nest a little bit stronger. Alright, they're asking me how much defense does the Paleo have. I tell them 0. I have to rise to full heighted to not die because I paid 4,000 for the I paid 4,000 for the rollback. Okay, here I have a ruling question because I don't know if this Paleo goes to grave or not. Because this card says spell trap cards sent from the field to the graveyard are banished instead. The Paleo specifically says it's not a trap card on the field anymore. So I said it goes to grave. I hope that's correct. I think it's correct. It says spell and traps sent from field to grave are banished instead, and the Paleo says it's not a monster, it's not a trap. So I was like 99% sure that was correct, but not 100%. But yeah, but that gives me 2 Paleos in grave. It's like Dimensional Fissure with continuous spell monsters. So if you have Dimensional Fissure and there's a continuous spell monster, it gets destroyed, it goes to banished.
Ja. Okay. So, solange du 3 bleiben Eisbarriere von aktivierten Effekten der Monster vom Extra-Deck unberührt. Okay.
It's a spell on the field, so it goes to grave. Oh, you mean a monster that is currently a spell? Yes. Okay. Yeah. No, I got it. I was thinking the other way around. I was thinking a spell card that's treated as a monster. But yeah, no, you're right. Of course. Yeah.
Ja, vom Feld. Okay. Gut, dann zieh ich.
Such a frustrating draw, man. Such a frustrating draw, man. The freaking what's it called? Trap Tantalizing Tune on turn 2.
Dann würde ich den Marella aus dem Friedhof chainen. Ja.
This Paleo gets banished because of this. But I realized that in a second.
Also bescheuert aus dem Deck. Hand Deck extra grave. Okay.
The Leoncolia gets banished.
Achso, der geht raus. Ne?
Yeah. But unironically, I think I'm in a winning position right now if I'm playing it right, because I have another Leoncolia to bring back another Paleo, and then I have 2 Paleos on the board. They are basically out of interruptions. I think I should be winning this.
Monster-Effekt aufs Spielfeld aktivierst, also resolved,
Ja.
du musst eine Handkarte dafür abschmeißen.
Okay.
Ice barriers are cool AF.
Klar, dann würde ich
I don't know about that one, man.
Transaction Rollback aktivieren, Hälfte zahlen. Für Trap Trick.
Alright, the reason I'm activating rollback on trap trick here first is not because I need a specific trap, it's because I want a good target for my second Leoncolia to activate. I don't want to put back Rise to full height, because I already have one. I don't know what I should set here, actually. I forget what I did set. Trapaholic?
Ja, genau. Aber war das die, die man gegen Rot gespielt hat? Oder war das die an...
Trapaholic banishen.
Nee, ich meine, also ein von diesen...
Trapaholic. Okay. I'm actually... since this is round 1, game 1, this is the one that's the longest ago for me, so I'm surprised a little bit. Why am I doing Trapaholic?
Und Chain Target das Team. Wie geht wieder in Friedhof?
Oh, I remember. I remember. Okay, the Leoncolia gets banished here, but the trap trick. I wanted this card. I wanted Balance of Judgment, and I can't trap trick for it because I only play one copy. Yeah. Does trap trick not lock you if you transaction rollback it? No, it doesn't lock you if you transaction. If you copy it with rollback, you don't get the restriction. And this is where the generational fumble starts, because I'm gonna be honest with you, at this point the game is over. I think at this point the game is over. I have an Opabinia. I'm about to draw 3 cards with the Balance of Judgment. And then I have 4 cards in hand plus an Opabinia, and they have like almost no cards in hand. I should be winning this super hard at this point. But this is where here's a masterclass on how to fumble this game from this position. This is me, yes, this is me.
Dann würde ich die aktivieren. Was macht die? Die zieht also die Differenz zwischen den Karten, die du auf dem Feld hast, und meinen Karten insgesamt. Also weil du 6.
So they have 6 cards on the field. I have 3 cards total, so I draw 3 from Balance of Judgment.
Ja.
And pick up Vaboku as well, which is completely insane. Now I'm safe for another turn. Their board is completely full. They basically are completely locked out of doing anything. This game is completely over. I just need to figure out the best way to do it.
Dann würde ich Trap Tantalizing Tune aktivieren. Von der Hand geht Ingrave, ne? Die wirft eine Falle ab und zieht 2.
So this gets banished.
Dann würde ich den Effekt aktivieren. Nee, weil der von Monstern umgerührt ist.
So here, the interaction that we're talking about is that General Ryo of the Ice Barrier says whenever your opponent resolves a monster effect, they have to discard a card. If they don't, then the effect is negated. And I'm explaining to them, Opabinia is unaffected by monster effects. So if I don't discard, it still won't be negated because it's unaffected by the General Ryo.
Dann würde der den eigentlich negieren, aber der ist von Monstern umgerührt, deswegen würde ich nicht.
Based Opabinia does not care. And somehow, I'm impressed by myself right now. But somehow I managed to lose this game. Spoilers, I guess. But I managed, I guess, look at the situation. If you've ever played Paleo, I guess if you've never played Paleo, then you don't understand how winning this position is. This is crazy. This is the point in time where if we have a game state like this at Master Duel, I start getting careless and start making jokes because I'm just playing with my opponent. Like this game is over. And now watch me find a way to lose it. My God.
Dann würde ich den aktivieren. Der sagt, ich muss eine Karte abwerfen, um eine Karte zu banishen. Genau, würde ich gerne den banishen. Wobei, nee, warte, nee, den, sorry. Den, der die Spelltraps banished. Fehler. Und den Chain.
Okay, first I pointed at the wrong one, but they let me take that back.
Natürlich das hier. Wie viel Defense hat diese Ice Jade, die ich gesetzt habe, wenn das okay wäre?
Die hat 2,5.
2,5 ist viel.
Ist ein Stufe 7 Monster.
Ah, okay. Fair enough.
Und der Jubel Stufe 10,00. Ja.
Dann würde ich All-in-Noise aktivieren auf diese.
So the thing, the reason why this is so bad is because why am I going in here? Why am I not setting and passing? What am I doing? Can someone stop me? What the hell am I doing?
Ich kann weitermachen, okay.
Maybe I was worried about timer. I don't know exactly, but like, bro, why am I going in? Why am I doing this? This is so bad. You'll see in a second why it's extra bad.
Ich kann Material abhängen, um eine offene Karte auf dem Feld zu wählen, und solange er auf dem Feld ist, wird die Karte annulliert. Und weil, solange diese Karte die andere Karte auf dem Feld ist, kannst du auch keine anderen Karten mit dem
The
gleichen.
Crumble Logos is just... I'm going into Zeus, but you're gonna see, the Zeus is so bad. The Zeus is so bad. I'm just looking at at myself in the past here, and I'm screaming like, bro, don't do it. Don't do it! The Zeus is so bad! Don't do it! Oh.
Okay. Dann würde ich in die Battle Phase gehen.
Gigantic was the play here?
Dann würde ich...
Oh, you know what? You know what? Make Gigantic attack a defense position monster. Main phase 2, make Zeus on Opabinia. Make Downert and then Zeus. And then go Chainlink 1 Gigantic, Chainlink 2 Zeus. Destroy everything or send everything. And then Zeus. You can detach with Gigantic from the Zeus to summon an Hyperia, to draw a card, and then because they are locked from the Gigantic, they can't summon Trishula with this. Oh, that's so clean, actually. That's so clean. I should have done that. And I should have done that, or I should have set 4. Both of those lines work. I just somehow, I found the one line that just loses.
Dann würde ich gerne hier hinarbeiten. Das sind 500.
That would have been really cool.
2 gehen.
But what I did was just cringe. This is just so bad. It's so bad, man. No, man, don't do it. Oh, look what's about to happen. Look what this Zeus is about to do, man. I got less cards than before. Oh my god, no. It's so bad. I have to discard a card for the stupid general as well. Discard another card for fun.
Der bleibt, weil unberührt von Monstern ist.
You didn't read the lands yet? No, I know what it does. I know it floats. I just forgot how... I didn't realize how bad it would be for me. I don't know. I don't know. I was so... I don't know what it was. I really don't know, man. I don't have a defense. I don't have a defense for it. I'm saying this is the one way to lose this game is to let them summon Trishula here. And I can't even say like I didn't know it had that effect. I know it has that effect. I know it has it. I know it does that shit. I just didn't realize how bad it was gonna be, man. Bro, I have nothing. I have nothing left, man. This is the worst. This might have been the worst paleo turn I've ever played in my life. What the hell did I do? I have nothing. I have nothing left. I have nothing left, man. Everything is gone. And I let them search follow-up. Could have set Vaboku first too. I mean, no, I Zeused. Setting Vaboku didn't make. That was not the mistake. But that, dude, they had 5 monsters. Their zones were completely clogged, and I had a Vaboku in hand. I could have just set the Vaboku, chilled forever with all of my wonderful trap cards, and next turn I could have done whatever I wanted to them. Or I could have done the gigantic play that you suggested. That was also really cool. But what the hell was that, man? What the hell was that? Oh my god. Oh my god. And it's especially sad because it would have been such a sick such a sick replay to watch if I actually outplayed that board. Like that would have been really cool. And I fumbled it. Sad. Yeah, and now I just get. I mean, I have only Opabinia, so I get destroyed here. I watched them do a little bit of stuff to see if they can out the Opabinia, because that's theoretically how I can win. If they like somehow can't out it, but of course they can, and then I scoop it up. Couldn't you have Centauread as well? Yeah, probably. I could have like bounced it back into the extra deck where it wouldn't have triggered. There's like so many ways. Yeah. So many ways. Gotta knock the rust off somehow. Yeah, it's just, I think if there's any possible explanation, it's probably because I was worried. Like, I was just not giving myself the proper time to think about stuff. Because I haven't played Paleo since the new time rules. And so I was very, very worried that that was going to be a massive problem. Going into this locals, that I was just going to get like a bunch of double losses. Do you think Genesis requires an even bigger time commitment than Modern and Advanced in terms of knowledge? No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I mean, you can get caught off guard by a deck that you haven't played before, or played against before, I suppose. But that can happen in Advanced Constructed as well. I don't know. I don't think so. It's kind of, maybe deck building is harder in Genesis because you don't have the obvious non-engine to fall back on. And I will say this is something that happens. I'm siding in Mirage of Nightmare and Heavy Storm Duster, by the way, for going first. I end up not siding in. I think I side in one debunk. I'm siding out Heavenly Prison because it's not Blitz Click. One of the best things about it. I agree with you. But the thing is, like, it is harder to build a Genesis deck, I think, because, and it's also harder to play, and this is simultaneously one of the best and worst things about modern Yu-Gi-Oh, not Genesis. The non-engine makes Yu-Gi-Oh easier. Whether it's good gameplay or not is a different question, but cards like Roland Lockbird, cards like Ash Blossom, hand traps that negate your opponent, they make it easier. They make Yu-Gi-Oh easier, they make it easier to play, they make it easier for worse players who are not as well prepared to beat better players. Because, like, you know, you can just make your board, have a draw behind it, and no one's gonna beat you. And that is something that you don't have in Genesis. In Genesis, you have to win games with your engine. Your non-engine does not win games as easily. This opener, by the way, this opener is either the best freaking opener you can have, or it's the worst opener ever. So it's Mirage of Nightmare, double Dynamiscus, Trap-holic, and I forgot the other trap. I forgot what it was. But Mirage of Nightmare, draw 4, and then you have discards for your Dynamiscus. You have discards for it because you're gonna draw 4 cards, and you don't even have to discard next turn because you can pop the Mirage of Nightmare with Trap-holic. This opener is completely insane if Mirage of Nightmare resolves. If they have one Mystical Space Typhoon, Cosmic Cyclone, or Twin Twister, you have basically nothing. Because you have no discards for the Dynamiscus. So, yeah. Why is that card allowed? Because it's completely fine. Because Mirage of Nightmare is completely fine in any regular Yu-Gi-Oh deck except for freaking Paleo. Can I have something, man? Can I have something? It's not good in any other deck. Come on, man. Why is my camera... Okay, it was stuck there for a second. Okay, I drew 4 cards. It didn't get MSD. Penguins! Royal Penguin Garden. It searches the first penguin or whatever it's called. I mean, no completely crazy discard for Dynamicious, but just more Paleos. That's fine. It's good in muskets and runics too. I mean, yeah, all of the powerful meta threats in the Genesis format. How could they have this card legal that is played in 0.01% of decks? I can't believe it.
Die sucht was, wenn sie aus dem Grave finisht, ne? Okay, ja.
I think this is precisely what Genesis should be about, the Broken Mirage being playable in obscure decks. I think this is completely in spirit of Genesis format, yes. I think something like this is very, very cool about this format. Is that specifically, like, because this is very often the case in Yu-Gi-Oh! And this is why you could even argue the modern banlist system is not, like, completely perfect, is because the context that you play a card in matters. Like maybe in some decks a card is okay, but in others it's not. And so in Genesis you can make that happen by disabling certain combinations. Like if this deck core requires you to spend 70 points, you can't play a certain 40-point non-engine card that is crazy, maybe, but other decks can play with it, right? So I think this is very much in the spirit of the format and pretty awesome. I mean, Mirage of Nightmare even. Mirage of Nightmare is freaking 0 points in Genesis format, and it had 0 tops at any of the major events. So the card is completely fine. They could bring this card back in Advanced Constructed, and no one would play this. Trust me, no one would play this. Not even Paleo would play it. Not even Paleo would play it because guess what? Paleo would still be completely unplayable in Advanced Constructed. It wouldn't change anything.
Yep. Und nimmst ihn auf die Hand, ja.
Alright, this time we're dealing with the Revealer instantly, because it's not a quick effect, it's just an ignition effect. Discard a Paleo, banish that, get rid of it. Set up with 2 Paleos in the grave. Summon the Ice Jade, get a token. Book the tuner. I think the Ice Jade is wait, is the Ice Jade the tuner or is the token the tuner? I think the Ice Jade is the tuner. I don't know if I had properly checked, but I think the Ice Jade is the tuner. Wait, the token is the tuner? Oh, my bad. I thought I would just book the tuner. Penguin is tuner. Wait, is the penguin tuner? Oh, okay. Trapaholic on Mirage and they just leave. I don't know if they left because the game was completely lost or because they just knew that it was going to be a timeout problem. But yeah. Oops. Let's skip this. I think siding. I'm taking back out the Mirage of Nightmare for going second. I'm putting in Sphere Mode. I'm not putting in Apocrypha. Am I putting in Sphere Mode? I don't remember because I'm scared of the... I'm really scared of the, what's it called? The Lancea floating into something. Retroglide is great for this. Annihilate Retroglide is great in this matchup because I can just set it and then I can just banish their board face down and the Lancea won't trigger. Trap Tantalizing Tune plus Rollback is such a good feeling in this format because you know it's gonna resolve, man. The quality higher a little bit, huh? Let me slow this down a little bit. I can't really follow my hand movement.
Nennen Sie gerne auf dem Friedhof.
Ja, ja.
Teller
Is going second so miserable? In Genesis? No.
und Katze, der da reinbewegt.
The OCG banned hand shuffling? Wait, they did? Did they actually?
Schaffen nur die zieht nicht, ne?
That's so funny.
Ja. Ja.
Excessive hand shuffling specifically on stream. Okay.
Das war
Ja. 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 Ja.
Beste Karte jemals. Nee, nur die zweite, die beste ist kybernetischer Horizont.
check. Diesmal aber nicht, nachdem du den Feed
What does debunk do? It negates a card effect in hand or grave and banishes a monster.
nicht, das macht die Trap. Ja, genau.
Guys, this card says you cannot activate spell cards for 2 turns. So my wonderful trap tantalizing tune plus transaction rollback combination has been reduced to just a transaction rollback that I cannot discard. So funnily enough, they thought that it was also trap cards. The next turn, when I'm starting to activate trap cards, they tell me I can't, but it doesn't include traps. It's not that... The game would be over if it said spells and traps, but it only says spells. Only.
Meiner nächsten
Endphase. Ja.
Dann gehe ich zwischen den Das war Eishalle Gimmel.
Ja.
Dann einfach einen Effekt.
Ja.
Das ist ein Ziel.
Mhm.
Dann kriege ich Gorgios.
Ja. Ja.
Den Gorgios-Effekt.
Ja.
Special Ziel von Minecraft.
Mhm.
Dann will ich eine Synchro-Szene.
This card is really good against Paleo, because it can chain block you at any point. The Ice Jade Adrian.
Dann setze ich eine Karte. Ja.
Ja.
Und
Mhm. Okay, ich kann keine Spells aktivieren. Nee, nur Spells, oder?
Nee, auch Trap schon was. Weiß ich gar nicht. Ja.
Nee, nur Spells.
Ah, nee, das war der andere. Der auch Traps verbietet. Also halt.
You can't activate traps. I'm like, no,
Und der
no
ist
that's
bei
not true.
Special Summon oder auch bei... No, bei Special.
When is the Peeps collab? In about an hour. In about an hour.
Set 1, Set 2, Set 3.
In the recent Genesis YCS, going first had a 77% win rate on stream according to a Reddit post. They include links to the data.
Du bist...
Yeah, I think I heard about that. At the same time, it doesn't really, what's the word? I haven't made that experience personally. But we'll talk about that.
Ja. Ja.
It's a terrible analytics since on-stream features are a minute sample size. It is a very small sample size, yeah, but still, it's still not a great look on the format if that is true. So it's a valid criticism.
Ich aktiviere Wind über der Eisbarriere.
Ja.
Locals is always very different from events. That is true, but I also have played Genesis at bigger events. I played it at Euros, I played it at YCS Bologna back then, I played it at YCS Lille, I played public events for it. I've played it at bigger tournaments as well. You're playing Mirage of Nightmare? I'm siding Mirage of Nightmare at the moment, but I think I would main deck it. Yu-Gi-Oh is a going first game. It's not that impressive of a data. It's okay. It is on the one hand, it's true. Like even if going first is favored in Genesis, you could say like, oh, so what? So it's the same thing in advanced constructed format, which is true. I think the difference is that like Genesis is supposed to be more fair. However, I think one of the main differences is that like the thing that people don't factor in as often is also like how does the player going second win? And I think there is a difference between how do you win against Genesis boards versus how do you win against advanced constructed boards. Because the way you beat constructed boards going second in advanced format is you hand trap them to death or they brick, is a lot of the times how it goes, especially against some of the more combo heavy decks. And to me personally, advanced format, like a Genesis format, even if your win rate is less than 50% going second, the games you win do feel better. Is how I feel about it, because it doesn't feel like you win just because you resolve a Charmy or just because they didn't get to play. I feel like that's my experience so far. I feel like a lot of the times when I see a Genesis board, it's a strong board, but I can actually play the game versus it. It's not like I have to force them to not play the game, or I just have to like Charmy.
Da würde ich Trap Trick aktivieren.
So here it's just about surviving somehow. I need to survive this turn because the Spellbreaker is now offline for next turn. I can trap Tantalizing Tune, the roll back into the grave. If I can survive this turn, it's really good for me. And I also need to hope that my opponent, I think they forget to use the Ice Jade on some stuff here. I think they're holding it for some removal to dodge. Also, they are in the battle phase right now. And they attacked with the Lancea first, which makes a big difference against the Ruma Karmic Cannon, because it means that if I do Ruma Karmic Cannon here, they cannot flip it back up. Instead, if they attacked with the Chengying first, which they cannot change the battle position of the Chengying anyways this turn, because they just summoned it. But these two, the two Synchros in the middle, are from the previous turn. So if they didn't declare an attack, then this could have been flipped back up. Using a field center in Genesis is diabolical. I get what you mean, but at the same time they need the tokens. They used it as tokens for the Ice Barrier stuff.
Wenn ein Monster durch einen Falleneffekt gespecialt wird, kann ich ihn von Hand oder Grave specialen. Wenn er vom Friedhof kommt, wird er entfernt, wenn er das Feld verlässt. Und ich kann während deiner Battlephase entweder mit ihm eine Synchro machen oder mit ihm...
Why only one soul? Is it searchable? I can summon it with Gigantic, but I just don't want to draw multiple, and it's not that important. It's a good card, but it's not important.
Dann kommt noch dein Monster von dem. Der resolgt.
If they chain Argerine to the Morella, they get to banish it from grave and Chengying on the next chain. Exactly. Yeah, like if they play this properly, they probably win. But I think this is good to see. I think you want stuff like this in a format. I think you want stuff like this in the format where people have opportunities to make mistakes and you can win games because of it. I think that's a good thing.
Das wird die jetzt banishen auch, ne? Ja, okay.
Und alle Karten mit denselben Namen.
Hab ich nicht.
They chain the Argerine to the Karmic Cannon here, but that doesn't really do much, right?
Ja. Der kann nicht flippen, der hat angegriffen.
It's good for them too, because they will know how to use their interruptions for other games. I guess that's another factor. Yes, it's like I think you have more learning experiences or a better learning curve when stuff like this happens versus when in Advanced Construct sometimes it doesn't feel like you're learning much by making, like, at least for me personally, I can speak about it this way. I often lose to people where I see that they make mistakes, but they simply go unpunished in Modern Yu. It definitely happens more often where people are doing like their combo in sloppy ways or whatever, and very often it just comes down to, well, the way they played this right now is weak to that one specific card. Like, I don't know, they ignored Nibiru in their combo or something like that, but because I don't have it, I can't do anything about it. I can't punish it, right? And I do notice this a decent amount in Advanced Constructed. And I want to make one thing clear. I want to make one thing clear. I'm not even advanced format hater. I'm just trying to compare the two formats from my personal experience. I'm still a fan of modern Yu-Gi-Oh in general. I just do think that Genesis does have some pretty distinct advantages over it. Because decks are so oppressive, they can go unpunished. I think this is true. I think with how powerful Yu-Gi-Oh cards are in Advanced Constructed nowadays, they are very effective at closing the skill gap between two players. Like, if your opponent resolves some of these combos, there's just no way they can lose to you, no matter how good or bad you are. You shouldn't have to clarify that, but players on each side get so defensive, it's frustrating. Yeah, I guess that could be one of the reasons why it's so hard to find a middle ground, is because people always think it's like it's one or the other. Like either you love Genesis or you love Advanced Format. If you say something positive about one of them, it must mean you hate the other. I don't think that's true. I think both of them have their pros and their cons.
Haben wir die gebancht? Ja, ist okay.
Alright, and now we pop off. Now we pop off.
Dann aktiviere ich den auf die da.
Auf die da.
Ja.
Dann würde ich die da aktivieren.
Die hat auch noch zwei andere ganz normal.
Ja, dann
Würde ich mit 2 aktivieren.
Chain Rollback, Zahlhälfte.
3 Minuten.
Target Trapaholic auf die.
Are you making Zeus this time?
Auf die.
I think I do, but I think this time...
Zerstört.
I don't remember how I played this turn, but like this time I think... Once again, I didn't see the gigantic line. I think the gigantic line is probably the best thing to do here again. The make a rank 2 gigantic, attack a defense position monster, then go Zeus on the left, and then go gigantic chain Zeus, and then detach from the Zeus to make sure the thing doesn't trigger. That's just something that didn't occur to me at the time. So I should have done that here too, but here what I'm doing essentially is I just I get in such a strong position that them resolving Trishula just doesn't save them anymore. It was my thought process here, because I didn't think of the other thing.
Dann würde ich die aktivieren. Chain.
So I will end up, I think I end up outing the thing at some point, but at a point where it doesn't matter anymore.
Wie viel Defense hat der große, dieser Lancia? Der Synchro 10. Ja.
Der hat 2-7.
Warte, brauche ich eh gleich noch. Aktiviere ich das? Chain. Was mache ich denn?
The Zeus gigantic line is very fine cooking. That is a very, very fine, very, very cool line, yeah. Alright, counter of amount of people who picked up Elemental Burst when they saw it for the first time and read it. 1 out of 1 so far. Hog Champion.
Für den. Dann würde ich in die Battleface gehen. Dann würde ich hier angreifen.
Did you think about playing Typhon? Yeah, Typhon should probably be in the extra deck if you don't find a better use for the points. I didn't really think about... I just... Like I said, it was a little closer for me getting to... Here I do a cool thing. I set the Dynamicious, even though I don't have a discard for it, which might sound stupid, because it's like, oh, why are you setting this when you're going to Zeus it away anyways? I'm doing this because this means it's going to trigger Animal Ocaris to look at the top card of my deck and see if it's a trap card. Because I don't have use for the Dynamicious, I'm basically trading it for the top card of my deck.
Muss der offen zerstört werden?
Nee, der sagt einfach, wenn er auf das Spielfeld verlässt.
Wenn?
Karte in its owner control.
Ja, okay, fast perfekt. Auf das da. Zerstören, ja. Kannst du nicht. Da bist du. Ja.
You can tell from my voice that we're getting closer to timeout. Because I'm like, This game, this time I make a, I think this is a good play by me. I'm just ignoring the Lancia for now. I'm not outing it immediately because then I would lose my rollback again. This time I'm just leaving the rollback in the graveyard and I'm just gonna do it on their turn. It doesn't float when face down. I asked them that and they said it still floats. Hold up, Lancia Ice Barrier. Let me see. I asked them if it floats if it's destroyed face down. Wait, they lied to me! If this face-up Synchro Summon card in its owner's control leaves the field... Wait! I asked that! I mean, they didn't do it on purpose, I don't think. I don't think they did it on purpose. Because they also tried to do it fast because we were getting closer to time. I don't think they knew that. Because, hold up. They reread it even. Yeah, I asked them here. I asked them, does it need to be face-up? And they read it and they said no, it just when it leaves the field. Yeah, they just read it wrong. No hard feeling. Yeah. They were speed reading it. It's all good. Don't worry about it. Calm down, guys. Oh, this is one thing I forgot to say it, but apparently I need to say it every time. Please be nice to my opponents. Please be nice to my opponents. Yeah. Look. We were getting closer to time. I didn't want to get to overtime, man.
Meine Falle auf den Grave Blick. Die stehen auf die Hand.
It is less cool that I get a card here with Animal cards because they're about to trish it away anyways. I just copy Dynamishes to discard it. Dude, we're so close to time at this point. It's like 49 minutes or something. And then they scooped. They scooped. Thank God they scooped. Man, I can't take this. The worst part about Paleo is you can have 5 monsters, 5 spell traps, just wipe their field with no cards in hand and people will still play it out because they don't think you can beat them. It's not my experience, at least. I think, at least at locals, I don't know how it would be at regionals or something like that, but people just give you the win if they see that you're winning. I do the same thing. I do the same thing with people. When I see that they're winning, I just give them the win just before a timeout is called. So, and that's what they did here. Like, it was, yeah.